Welcome to ORPtv. I'm Craig Stagner, coming to you from the Rad Auto Lift studio on Sunday, May 19th. Well, it seems to be that the rain just does not want to cooperate with us, so a lot of rainouts across the area. Almost everything was rained out yesterday, but we'll talk about some of the local races here coming up. Last night in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, was the Monster Energy NASCAR All-Star event. And this race had 19 racers in it in a ever increasingly difficult format to figure out. NASCAR last night, 4 segments instead of the what has become normal 3 segments. So for some reason there was 4 last night. And it's hard to believe that the small story here is that Kyle Larson held on, competed really strong last night. You heard him say his crew back and forth on the radio were talking about him kind of getting pushed around, and it was crew or chief or spotter telling him, hey, as long as you let these drivers do that to you, they're going to do that. And he must have taken that to heart, because later in the race, by golly, Kyle Larson started to establish himself that he wasn't going to be pushed around and took the win. $1 million richer for Kyle Larson, who had to race his way into this race earlier in the evening. So a great night for Kyle Larson to take home $1 million. The story that will rule the headlines about this last night was, once again, Clint Bowyer was mad at somebody. This week, it was Ryan Newman, apparently running back in the, well, they finished 12th and 13th, Clint Bowyer and Ryan Newman. So this is not a points race. I'm not real sure what Clint felt like he was being kept from getting. I mean, I'm sure that there was some money difference there, but somehow he said he thought Ryan Newman was a lap down, which is just not plausible, but nonetheless they bumped and banged around on the track a little bit. Then after the race, Ryan Newman very clearly was driving, staying in his lane, and Clint Bowyer tried to cut down on him and spun himself up into the wall, and that was Ryan Newman's fault. So after the race, Clint Bowyer runs over and picks a fight with the much larger Ryan Newman. Now, when we say pick a fight, of course you saw it. I think I could fight Ryan Newman if I'm allowed to wear a helmet. Ryan Newman is strapped into his car, and the fight lasts 4 seconds. I throw some punches and then run away as quick as possible. At least this week it wasn't just him complaining. He actually threw some punches. Maybe next week he will actually go toe-to-toe with somebody in a even fight. So Clint Bowyer and Ryan Newman steal the headlines away from the very, very likable, really seems like a neat guy, Kyle Larson, who's getting a lot of fans just because he's a likable guy. Really, congratulations to Kyle Larson on his win last night. Over at Lebanon Midway Speedway, they again were the lucky ones who, with a Friday schedule, had picture-perfect weather again. They have really lucked out this year. USRA B Mods, Cole Campbell with the win. Joe Francis with a Street Stocks victory. Pure Stocks, Mark Simon. Midwest Mod, Colt Cheevers with another win. The Hornets, Dewey Resch. And Kids Cruisers, Jacob Lewis. And you can go and check all of the results, the full rundown on our page. Just scroll down and look for the Lebanon Midway Speedway logo, and the complete results are right there. Spokes BMX was able to get underway this week. They also have had the misfortune of having a lot of Tuesday, Thursday bad weather, that being their schedule. But this week, they were able to get Thursday in. So opening day for Spokes BMX. We will get those results posted just as soon as we get those. What we do know is that they had some promotions. Now, the way that works in the BMX is you have to accumulate so many points or wins to move up in class, to go from novice to intermediate to expert. So it's it's not just a I decide I'm this class. You have to earn your way up into it. Not unlike say martial arts where you have your belt, you graduate up into a higher belt. So it's a big deal for these riders when they move up in class. Thursday night, Kason Myers and Donnie Johnson both got promoted up to the intermediate class in their age groups. River Hiron moved up to the girl expert class, so congratulations to her. Austin Dickens moved up to the expert class, and that's as high as it gets until you turn pro. So congratulations to those four riders on their promotions up to higher classes at Spokes BMX. Well, again, we'll have those results just as soon as possible, and they'll be back in action this coming Tuesday night at Spokes BMX in Springfield, Missouri. That is over at the Ewing Softball Complex. Gander Truck Series was underway also Friday night. Kyle Busch with a win, Brendan Poole second, Stuart Friesen third. The excitement there was that Kyle Busch comes back and just he absolutely dominates this class every time. I think this was he's 5 for 5 or 6 for 6 this year in the Gander Outdoor Truck Series. So didn't miss it by a whole lot of doubling up last night as he finished third and looked really strong in the All-Star race. But another win for Kyle in the Truck Series. One of the new tracks that we are covering now, we're really excited to partner with, is Hooter Holler. This is a track that's located just outside of Mountain Grove, Missouri. So from Springfield, it's northeast, about 45 minutes to an hour, something like that. I've been speaking with Tim Thornhill this week. It's a really neat facility that we'll be talking more about here coming up. They have close to 500 acres. This area is set up for all kinds of ATV, off-road vehicles, side-by-sides, dirt bikes, camping. You can buy a membership there and camp 365 days a year, and based on how many people's in it, you can buy individual plans, you can buy family passes, or you can come in by the event. But when you do buy a yearly package, you get into all the events. They're going to be having the ATV rodeos, which will be the skill competitions like barrel racing that you've seen in horse rodeo, dirt drags, there'll be motocross. There's going to be all kinds of things out there at Hooter Holler, and we'll be talking more about that. They did race Saturday. They were able to get in about half the events that they wanted to do that day. Unfortunately, before they could start the dirt drags, the rain moved in. But they did get the barrel racing rodeo portion done. In the 400cc and down ATV rodeo, Kendra Infranca with the win. Second was Josh Infranca there. 450 and up, had Corey Lansdowne with the win, Josh Infranca. Josh you're going to hear his name a few times here. He competed in just about everything this weekend. So he's second. Third place, Robert Snockhouse. In the two-stroke class, Rodney Barnes with the win, Josh Infranca second, and Mike Infranca third. The open class, this you could run anything. You could run ATV, side-by-side, motorcycle. Rodney Barnes on an ATV with the win. Tyler Page on a bike finishes second, and Josh Infranca on his third on his ATV. The girls class, as they call it there, the Powder Puff. Ashley Snockhouse is the wife of one of the riders there, and I just lost his name, Robert. So they go out and compete. Ashley Snockhouse with the win. Spencer Jarman second, and Jessica Brook third. The kids 12 and under, this is a whole family affair. Kendra Infranca with the win there. Brantley Helms second, and then the side-by-sides, Frank Riley with the win. Really look forward to seeing some more events out at Hooter Holler coming up this year. Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Series was started yesterday. This was the first race of the outdoor season. From a viewer standpoint, it's really odd how they have it set up this year. The first moto, this is the outdoor season. During the Supercross season, it's all heat races. Then you transfer to the main. You run one main, and that's that's how the race is done. Outdoor season, it's 2 motos. So you race your 1 moto if you get, and it's Olympic scoring system. So if you get first place, 1 point, second place, 2 points, third place, 3 points. You run the second moto, same thing. So 2 firsts would be 2 points, 2 seconds would be fourth. Then, like golf, low score wins. Okay, we got that. The first moto for the 250 and 450 will be on MAV TV each week. So you'll turn on to MAV TV, watch the first moto. Then you'll switch over to NBC Sports Network and watch the second moto. Or if you have the NBC Sports package, the Gold Plus or something like that, you can watch the whole thing on there. But like most of you, I'm going to watch it for free on my cable provider, so which means I'll be watching MAV TV half the race and NBC Sports the other half the race. What started as a pretty decent track yesterday in Northern California became quite muddy, and this was in Rancho, California. I'm sorry, Hangtown in Sacramento. It was Sacramento, Rancho, Cordova, California. Ken Roczen in the 450 class takes the win. It was so exciting to see Ken Roczen come back. He had a first place in the first moto, a second place in the second moto. Eli Tomac, who's the 2-time defending outdoor champion, back-to-back defending, had a fourth in the first moto and a first in the second moto. Second moto, even in the muddy track, Eli Tomac was on rails. He was flying. Jason Anderson came back after his injuries sidelined him in the Supercross season. He was the defending indoor champion and had gotten injured, broke his arm back in January, missed the rest of the season. Well, this was his first race back. Really strong third with a second and a fifth. But the real story there was that Ken Roczen, after 2.5 years without a win, comes back and wins. He had the worst luck. He had broken his left arm severely a couple years ago, and then comes back and catches his arm up under, well, we'll just use this here. He falls and his arm goes up under the swing arm, and just the bike just sucked it up underneath there, damaged his arm so bad that there was talk of him losing the arm, maybe not being able to use the arm. And that was about the best case scenario, that he'd even have it, or then if he'd even be able to use it. Ken Roczen comes back and wins a pro motocross in the highest level. Outstanding story. Talk about comebacks. A fantastic one for Ken Roczen. Just 26 years of age from Germany. Super day for him. 250 class, Adam Cianciarulo with a win, Justin Cooper second, and Muskogee, Oklahoma's Colt Nichols third. Another one of those riders. It was really great yesterday to see Roczen win and Cianciarulo after his misfortune last week of a wreck, which cost him what would have been his first Supercross title. So a big day yesterday in pro motocross for those riders. And now the race week ahead, presented by All Parts Auto Salvage, with 2 locations, 2600 North Benton and 425 East Kearney, the parts store. A great looking new sign out front. It's a super looking store. Let All Parts Auto Salvage help you fix your car.
Hold on for a second. If words can be weapons, then what I say can affect it. They're not just words on a record, and I can choose to respect it or choose to infect it. But once it hits the water, it's too late to be selective. Cause one voice is enough to make sleeping giants wake up, to make armies put their hands up and watch whole nations stand up. It's one belief, one spark, one faith, and one restart. We can reboot the whole chart before it all falls apart. So stand up, shout it out.
Coming up today, later from this time right now, but I hope you've got out to some of the tracks, because there was racing to be seen today. Springfield Raceway moved their race from Saturday to today. Beautiful weather outside. We can see right now the sun is out. It's shining. It's beautiful. So Springfield Raceway is going to be in action this evening. Mocan is having a points race today, their bracket race. Centerville is having a points race today. Missouri Vintage Motocross Series is going to be at Little Denmark in Harrisonville, Missouri. The E3 go-kart track is in action. And the NHRA from Virginia Motorsports Parks will be happening. So we'll have all those results, as many of them as we can, for you later in the day. The racing community lost another driver this week in a non-race related incident. From Illinois, 30-year-old Kyle Ellis, who raced drag racing, the Top Fuel style dragster, was headed to a track, was heading through Paducah, Kentucky, that area, in his 2007 Freightliner. Presumably after work, I'm guessing Thursday, goes home, packs up everything, and then is going to drive through the night and get to this track. 5:30 Friday morning, Mr. Ellis dozes off, starts to get off the side of the road, overcorrects, and wrecks his Freightliner. There were 4 people in the vehicle. Kyle Ellis was pronounced dead at the scene. The 3 other people in the vehicle were airlifted out, suffered injuries, one of them pretty severe. Dog was also shook up a little bit, slightly injured. There were some pictures online of the firemen consoling the dog while they were taking care of the wreckage. A really sad story. Kyle Ellis seems like he was a really neat guy, had a lot of things going his way. Very, very well liked from all accounts, from all the things that we saw posted this week about Kyle. Saw some people really talking about the strenuous part for a lot of amateur racers is that you have this 40-hour or more a week job, especially if you're a business owner. You're working probably 60 or more, and then trying to get to these tracks. So unfortunately, a lot of times they drive tired, when they're not as well rested as they need to be, and this was one of those unfortunate times. So our condolences to the friends and family of Kyle Ellis. Kyle, you will be missed. One more thing we want to talk about before we wrap up the show this week. There's several pages on Facebook that deal with racing here in the Ozarks, and there's some that we've really developed a friendship and a kind of a partnership with, and I really hope that you will go over, check out their pages and like them and follow them, because each one of these pages offer something unique to it. Our friend Mike Higby at Neighborhood Garage goes out to a lot of the different rat rods. You'll see some 4x4s, you'll see some race cars, you'll see all kinds of neat things, and Mike really digs into how they built them, the real technical aspects of them. So if you really want to check out some of the neat builds around the Ozarks area, Neighborhood Garage with Mike Higby. A new friend that we've met is Charles Hawkins at Y Rush Racing. And that is WHYRUSH ? Racing. What Charles does over at Y Rush Racing is they specialize in enduro and hare scramble racing. So when they do a live call-in show, they do a show here on Facebook, and you can comment and interact with them. They are digging deep into a lot of the enduro and hare scramble riders, about the tracks around the area. I was listening to this week, and one of the riders was talking about riding, I believe, in Portugal. So a really neat show about off-road two-wheel racing, hare scramble, and enduros. Y Rush Racing. Our buddy Josh Mathis at Speedway Car Cams. Josh has several of the GoPro, Wasp, different style in-car cameras, and does some really great camera work at the different tracks. You can rent his cameras. So if you want some footage from your in-car, you can get with Josh. He'll put that video camera in your car, get you some GoPro footage, and help you put that together to make a really cool video that's specific to your car, so you can go out and show that to your sponsors or show your buddies, or just watch it for your own benefit to maybe learn from or to brag about. So Josh Mathis at Speedway Car Cams. One of our friends in Florida, Beth Johnson, has a page called My Race Space. Now this has a lot of Southern racing on it, but they also hit on the NASCAR. So My Race Space, Beth Johnson, a really cool page to check out some of the Southern racing action. Now this guy has absolutely blown up in this area. He has developed such a following. Thomas Shaw Jr. at Show Me Dirt, and that's SHOW-ME Dirt. Show Me Dirt is a huge page that is really, really doing a great job of getting out. A lot of cars are running that logo on it. Photos, I mean a lot of really good photos from numerous tracks around the area. All the dirt tracks, Springfield, Lebanon, that kind of thing. And I know that he's also going to be getting into some of the BMX, maybe some motocross. I'm not sure what all. I don't think there's any limits to what Thomas will go out and take pictures of racing-wise if it's on dirt. So Thomas Shaw Jr. at Show Me Dirt, check out that page. Some new friends that we've made. Ozark Motorsports Report. This is Stacy, Steve, and Greg over there run that page. They get really technical into the racing part also, but this is mostly going to be car racing. But if you really want to get into the gearhead, the real technical aspects of the racetracks around the area, Ozark Motorsports Report is the place to go on Facebook. Well, I hope you'll support them, because you got to understand, all 3, 6, 8 of those people are putting a lot of effort into this, a lot of time, effort away from their families. Your families get involved with it, but it's hard to express why this is such a passion for us to do when it's not really a paid job. But it's our love of the sport and love of bringing it to you. And each one of these pages, and ORPtv included, try to do something a little different so that you get, if you follow all of those pages in this one, you are going to be pretty well rounded, knowing about dirt track, motocross, drag racing, the pro scenes, everything. And from a personal standpoint from some of the interviews that we do here, and the results and the technical aspects from the car, really it's a lot of fun, and I hope you'll go out and support these tracks and these people as well. So for ORPtv, I'm Craig Stagner. We'll see you back next week. I hope you had a great week at the track. Get out and support your local tracks.